In today's video, I'll share with you some tips for rocking your interview for your first nursing job, or even your second, third, or fourth, so you can land the nursing job of your dreams. If you're new here, hi, I'm Liz. I'm a family nurse practitioner now, but before that, I had 2 nursing jobs, and I've also sat on several interview panels, so hopefully I can share some of the benefits of those experiences with you today. Also, this is very exciting because this is my first collab video. Today's video is a collaboration with Alyssa from Alyssa All, who, if you don't already follow her, she's a brand new nurse who just had multiple job interviews for nursing positions and got offered jobs at literally all of them. So obviously, the girl's pretty good at interviews. She makes nursing videos as well as other vlogs just showing like how to be a mom while being in nursing school and being a new nurse. She is wildly down to earth, pretty sarcastic, and you'll love her. So when you're done with this video, make sure to go check out her video on the exact same topic, sharing her unique perspective. I will link it at the end of the video, up here and down in the description, because you don't want to miss those tips, since obviously they work real well since she got like all the job offers. But really, she's one of my favorite humans, and I'm super excited for you to get to meet her if you haven't been introduced yet. All right, now back to the topic at hand. First, let's start with some things that you can do in the days leading up to your interview. Because yes, you should be preparing a few days ahead. You have homework here, friends, all right? 1, research the unit and the hospital, institution, whatever that you're interviewing with. You're gonna wanna know what the mission statement of that hospital is. What's their overarching goal in providing care for patients? Familiarize yourself with that and come up with some talking points that are kind of pre-rehearsed that speak to that and you can integrate your own experiences into. And if that doesn't make sense, I'll kind of give you an example. So the first nursing job I had was at a very large teaching hospital with a huge focus on research and integrating family-centered care. So in my interview, when they asked why I wanted to work there, I discussed my enthusiasm for wanting to work at a teaching hospital that was so focused on implementing evidence-based measures that was going to be on the cutting edge of all the new stuff. And since it was a teaching hospital, I was hopeful that since I was new and would require some teaching, that this would be a great environment for me to learn, grow, and thrive in. I was also able to throw in clinical experiences where I saw the benefits of family-centered care and give some examples from my own experiences that I could then kind of weave into my whole spiel. Therefore, I wanted to work at a place that honored that whole family-centered approach. Now, when you're going into this though, don't be like a super robot and just like spit back their own mission statement at them. You have to kind of be creative in how you weave it into conversation, but let it guide the conversation, if that makes sense. Just don't be a robot, because they'll spot that from a mile away. When you go in and you start reading their own brochure back to them, they're gonna notice. And it sounds really corny and nobody wants that. 2, plan your outfit ahead of time. There is literally nothing worse than going to get dressed for your interview that you're already super nervous for, going to put on that button-up blouse and realizing that it no longer buttons because of the 5 or 10 pounds you gained in nursing school eating all the queso cheese when you were having study sessions with your best friends. Memories. Don't be me. Plan your outfit ahead of time. Try the thing on. Make sure it still fits. And just remember, it's always better to be overdressed rather than underdressed. Assume like very nice business casual, a button-up and a skirt. You can wear a suit if you want. Gentlemen, a button-up with a tie. You know what I mean. Pinterest some business casual outfits, and that's what you're probably gonna wanna go for. So you want fancy business casual unless otherwise stated. I have had an interview request that I wear scrubs because I was going to be spending 4 hours on the floor shadowing the nurses, and they wanted me to be able to just kind of like blend in, but they will specify that if they want you to do that. 3, get your supplies. You're gonna wanna get some kind of a portfolio resume holder thingy with a hole for your pen and like business cards. Yes, that's a very technical term, I know, but I don't know what the real one, you know what I mean. They're black and they're nice and they're leather and they look cool. I bought mine on Amazon. It looked real nice. It wasn't very expensive. I will leave the link down in my description box below. But this is gonna allow you to have some pens, some paper to take notes on. It'll let you store business cards and any other goodies you get during the meeting. You're gonna wanna bring your resume on resume paper, which is just a little bit thicker and makes it stand out a little bit more and is more sturdy. You can get that at, I don't know, Office Depot, Target, everywhere. And it just goes right in your printer like a normal paper. You're gonna want a pen and paper. On the paper, you're gonna wanna write down your notes and then questions you wanna make sure to ask, because if you're like me, you'll forget. I just want to write them down. And number 4, this is gonna be the big time taker-upper here. You're gonna wanna practice all the usual interview questions. Tell me about yourself. If you were soda, what would you be? How would your mother describe you? Garbage, complete garbage, but you will always get asked those questions, so you might as well prepare for them. Now, for those types of questions, I absolutely love Professor Austin's videos on YouTube. I will link them down below. She goes through all the different questions, like how to answer, what are your greatest faults? And she gives you examples and all of that. So she says it far better than I will. So I will link those down below. I watched those and then just practice those speeches. Familiarize yourself with them, talk out loud, talk in the mirror, talk to whoever will listen to you, your dog, the wall, your plant. You just want to get comfortable answering those questions. That way you're not totally thrown off because you know you're going to get them. They're useless, but you're going to get them. And then you're going to want to prepare some of your nursing interview questions. Things they're almost guaranteed going to ask you in these interviews. Tell me about a time when you didn't get along with others. When there was conflict, how did you resolve it? Tell me about a time when you were a leader in the clinical or classroom setting. And then they're gonna ask you about some clinical scenarios. Tell me about your most influential, challenging, memorable clinical situations, and why did they impact you, and what did you learn from them? So just come up with a couple that kind of demonstrate different skills. And that's gonna vary totally depending on you and the type of unit you're working on. I tried to tailor mine when I was working in peds to more pediatric situations, or when I did adults, I tried to draw on those adult situations. But even if you haven't worked in the area you're necessarily interviewing for, just draw on your clinical experiences to paint a picture of someone who is knowledgeable, reliable, professional, and someone who actively seeks to learn all the time, because that's what they want in a new employee. Someone who's just gonna be safe and want to learn and be there. So find some clinical experiences that you can talk about easily, practice again, and I would say come up with, like, it sounds like a lot, but like 10, that way you can easily recall them off the top of your mind. You can even jot them down on your interview paper so you can look at it right before the interview and remember, okay, those are my experiences that I have ready to talk about, ready, set, go. All right, now you're pretty much prepared. You've done the homework part of this exercise. Well done. Your only job the day before is to get a good night's sleep, because you don't want to be going into that interview with like half your brain not enough. No, friend, no. So let's assume you did. You went, you got a great night's sleep, you wake up refreshed, and you're ready to tackle this day and get yourself a job. 1, leave super early, like super early. Hospitals can be very confusing. They're easy to get lost in. Sometimes parking is impossible. You might get in there and realize it's a labyrinth and you have no idea where to go. And there is nothing worse, obviously, than being late to an interview. And you're just gonna be so much more cool, calm, and collected if you are early and you have leisurely time to get lost 7 times as you try to find this unit locked away in the basement of this hospital. So do yourself a favor, pack a few snacks, and if you get there early, perfect. Listen to some of your favorite pump up tunes, listen to a podcast, do whatever you need to do to just chill in your car knowing you made it, you know where you are, things are fine. Also, a fun bonus if you get to the unit early is you can just kind of observe the unit. Stand in a random corner, try to look inconspicuous, and just awkwardly creep on what's happening. Do people seem really stressed? Are they running around? Are there tears? Or do people seem like generally like, okay, yeah, I don't like totally mind being here, this is fine. You will know the sheer panic on some people's faces, and if everyone looks like that, maybe that's not somewhere that you want to work. I mean, interview for sure, get that practice, but then be like, yeah, everyone looked like they were having a stroke. I'm good, thanks. Obviously, most units are not like that, but there's some. There's some. So be a creep. Show up a few minutes early and just be a little creepy. Stand in a little alcove and observe. Now, during the interview, be yourself. They do not want a robot. One of the coolest parts about being a nurse is just getting to bring your own unique personality and twist and approach to caring for other humans. Everyone has these beautiful things that they bring to the table, and let that shine. Maybe you're really quirky and kind of funny. Maybe you just have this like calm Zen spirit that automatically just like chills everyone and makes them feel at peace. Or you're just very go-getter and like, da-da-da, I'm gonna get stuff done. I am on top of whatever it is that your personality is, that can add so much to a unit, and it makes you seem not like every other person they interviewed who's sitting there like, yes, I got straight A's, I only did X, Y, and Z. I volunteered 8 bajillion hours. I do not have a personality, and in my free time, I read journal articles. Like, no, come on guys, that person doesn't really exist. And if they do, good for you. I'm sure you're fun. But really, they want to see your personality. They want to get to know who they're actually going to be hiring. I'm telling you, having sat on interview panels, you can tell when people are just being like their straight-laced, not version of themselves. And in the back of my mind, I'm always like, who are you hiding? And let them out so I can know who I'm working with here. so I can like know if this is gonna work well, or if you're the, like, why are you hiding your personality, basically. It's not, that makes me scared. Just unleash it. Let me know what I'm gonna be dealing with. You're a lovely human. Just let that shine. It'll be fine. Now, also remember to ask questions. They're interviewing you, but you are also interviewing them. You're gonna be spending a lot of time here, like more time than you spend with your family, your friends. This is your place, so you wanna make sure it's a place you wanna be. Now, I have a whole video on the questions you must ask at your nursing interview. It would take up far too much time to put them in here, so I will leave that at the end of the video as well, so you can check it out. It covers all the questions I wish I had asked and that I learned to ask at subsequent interviews so that I could get a better handle on what I was walking into. Wow, I feel like I'm just giving you a lot of homework today. Go watch this, go do this, you'll be fine, it'll be fine. You'll get a great job and it'll be so worth it. You can do it. Next, get the name and the email, business card is even better, of the human that you are interviewing with. Write it down, friends. I know I am the worst person in the world with names. Write that down. If you have a business card, put it in that nice little portfolio that you got. And then after the interview, send at least a thank you email. You could send a note, but sometimes they actually turn around faster than you would even receive the note. So make sure to just send a thank you email, thanking them for the opportunity and sharing your enthusiasm for the unit or whatever. And finally, see if you can shadow. If they don't offer this to you, ask. Shadowing is possibly the most important part of the interview for you as the interviewee. It lets you immerse yourself in the floor for a little bit. No, you're not gonna get the whole feel, but you're gonna get a better idea of what the dynamics of the unit are, what the attitudes are, what the role is that you will actually be doing. Lets you kind of assess the vibe and talk with some of the other nurses, which is huge because you can ask them, you know, like, would you take a job here again? How long are you gonna stay? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? Pick their brains as well. It is an invaluable experience. And honestly, if they don't let you shadow, I would have some alarm bells going off in my head. Like, what don't you want me to know? All right, so those are my tips for tackling nursing interviews and landing an awesome job. Because you got this, friend, and you're gonna be great. Now that you've heard my tips, make sure to go and watch Alyssa's video. I'll link it right at the end here and get all of her tips that she has for you, which again, obviously work because she just got all the jobs. All right, more homework time here, friends. If this was helpful for you, make sure to go over and watch that video about all the questions to ask in your nursing interview. And consider subscribing if videos like this are helpful. On Tuesdays, I make nursing and NP related content videos, and on Saturdays, I have a vlog showing my life as a FNP, and I'd love to have you on my YouTube adventure. I'm also over on Instagram if you're interested in seeing little clinical bits of what I do throughout the week and what I'm learning as I go. We always have a question of the day here, and today it is, what is your greatest interviewing faux pas that you have committed? Mine would have to be when I was 16, I walked into an interview at Chili's wearing a bathing suit. I did have a tank top and some shorts on top of it, but very visible bathing suit into my interview for Chili's as a hostess. Granted, I did get the job, so go Chili's. Obviously, you're a classy institution. I went on to work there for like over half a decade, so maybe that's the key to success. Wear a bathing suit, shock and awe factor. Don't do that. Don't wear a bathing suit to your nursing interview. All right, friends, let me know your biggest interview faux pas down below. Hope this was helpful for you, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.